Hello everyone, welcome to Career Launcher, and today we are going to talk about CUET UG 2026 Slot 2 review, and that happened today on 29th of May. And today we are going to talk about what happened in General Aptitude Test and what kind of questions we got in GAT. So let's look at the question. So basically, we get 20 questions out of 50 in GK, and what are some few questions that I came to know, that is who's the author of Wings of Fire. The answer was APJ Abdul Kalam. Now, the second question was, in which year India plans to establish Bharatiya Space Mission, Bharatiya Space Station? The answer is 2028. International Yoga Day is celebrated on which day? That is June 21. Lucknow is established on which tributary of Ganga? That is Gomti. Who wins the Nobel Prize of Physics in 1930? That is C.V. Raman. Now, you might think why they are asking some very old question, because in these kind of questions, generally an Indian has won the award in that particular year. So that's the reason they expected you to know that what should be the answer. Mohini Yattam is a dance of which state? The answer is Kerala. So basically, these are the questions that we got in GK, and GK was not very much time consuming. You just look at the question, mark the answer, and move on. Even when I looked at the QA part was extremely easy. So now let's look at this. The point Q 0, 1 is equidistant from R, that is 5, minus 3, and P, that is x, 6. Find the value of x. Okay, so what we are going to do, I'm just going to use the distance formula, that is distance of this point to this point, that is x2 minus x1, so 5 minus 0 whole square is plus y2 minus y1 whole square, so that is going to be minus 4 whole square, so that is going to be 4 square, and that is again equal to distance of P and Q, that is x minus 0 whole square, that is x square, plus 6 minus 1 whole square, that is going to be 5 square. Now, just removing the square root on both sides, so what I am going to get, I am going to get 5 square plus 4 square, and that is equal to x square plus 5 square. So from here, I can get x square is equal to 4 or minus 4. Now, depending on the option, you can mark the answer. Now, in how many ways can we arrange the letter of the word moment? So it is, I would say, it is a 6-letter word. M is appearing twice. O, E, and T are appearing once. So 6-letter word can be arranged in 6 factorial ways. But because one letter is appearing twice, so divide by 2. So that comes out to be 6 factorial is 720 divided by 2. So answer comes out to be 360. Okay. Now let's move on to the next one. Now these kind of questions, if you are going to look at these questions are extremely easy. A vehicle is traveling at a speed of 80. What is the distance it will cover in 15 minutes? Now 15 minutes is how many hours? 1 by 4 hours. So speed is 80, time is 1 by 4. So what is the distance we are talking about? That is going to be 20 kilometers. And it is a fairly easy and direct question that anyone can ask in the exam. And it is simply distance is equal to speed into time. And that's what they ask. Okay. Now Salma buys a book, 60 books at 1,050 and 50 books at 1,020. What is the mean price? Mean means we are talking about the average price. So total number of books that she bought was 60 plus 50, I would say 110. What is the total price she paid? That is 1,050 plus 1,020. That is 2,070. Okay. So what is the average price? Average price is total price paid by her. That is 2,070 divided by 110. And whatever value that you are getting, that should be your answer. So that comes out to be, I would say, 19 point something should be the answer. Around close to 19. This value comes out to be close to 19. So answer of this question is going to be this. Okay. Now, there was one question on odd one out. There were 3 letters. And there was a pattern, +2, +1, and those kind of things. Now, there was a question that was called mirror image of word hint. So when you are going to draw a mirror image, so T is going to look like this, N is going to look like this, I is going to look like this, and H is going to look like this. So H, I, and T are going to be same, and N is going to be inverse. That's it. So if we are looking at mirror image of hint, H will be same, I will be same, T will be same, but N will be a little opposite. Okay. Now the question on embedded figure was there. There was a question of, I would say, the calendar was there, that 1st January 2001 was asked, and 7th February 2002 was given. Okay. So I am going to say on 1st January 2001, we have a day of X. Which day it was? I don't know. 1st Jan 2001 is X. So 1st Jan 2002 is going to be how much? That is going to be X plus 1. Now, one day after. Now, basically, what is going to happen in January? We have 30 days. So, if January we have 31 days and 1st Jan is already counted, so basically 30 days are remaining. So, 30 days means 4 weeks and 2 days. So, I'm going to get 2 extra days in January itself. February, we are talking about 7th February, so I'm going to get no extra days. Now, X plus 3 is actually given to us as Thursday. So what is going to be 3 days before? So Wednesday, Tuesday, and Monday. So X is going to be Monday. Now question is asking what day it was on 1st of January 2001. So answer comes out to be Monday. Okay. Now let's look at this one. Complete the series. So let's look at this question. So I would say 1. First term is 1, next term is 2, next term is 6, next term is 12. So if I see it is multiplied by 2, if I see it is multiplied by 3, if I see it is multiplied by 2, so next number should be multiplied by 3. Now next should be multiplied by 2. Now this number is 72. So if I say this number is 36, then next number should be multiplied by 3. Now does it work with us? Yes. So the missing number should be 36, and that's going to be the answer. Now, again, if I am going to say that this one, find the ratio of circumference is 2:3. Okay. So ratio of circumference is always equal to ratio of radius. So ratio of radius is given, that is equal to 2:3. Now, what is the ratio of area? Ratio of area is always going to be ratio of radius whole square. So that is going to be 2/3 whole square, or I would say 4/9. So what is the ratio of the areas? That comes out to be 4/9, and that's how we can approach this question. Nothing much to do. This is a fairly direct question. Now this one, find the next term of this series. So what numbers we got? That is 2. I'm looking for this 2, 6, 21, and 88. So 2, then we got 6, then we got 21, then we got 88. Okay. So 2, I would say 2 into 2 plus 2 comes out to be 6. 6 into 3 plus 3 comes out to be 21. 21 into 4 plus 4 comes out to be 88. Now into 5 plus 5. So into 5 is going to be 440, and this comes out to be 445. So basically the last number should be 445. Now D, this is increment of 1. FGH, increment of 3. IJK, LM, increment of 5. So now next one should be increment of 7. Now this is 13th letter, so 20th letter is going to be T. So answer of this question is going to be T445. So this is how we can get the answer of these questions. Okay. Now this one, the simple interest is, the question is directly talking about the find the simple interest, and principal is given, time is given, rate of interest is given. So I can directly say that simple interest is going to be P, that is 7200, R, that is 7, T, that is 7, and R, that is 14. Now I would say this is a lengthy question. So 14 to the 28, uh, 14 sevens are 98, 98 uh, plus 2, 1008. Okay. Okay, this is what we are getting. Okay, and into 7. Now 7 8s are 56. So 7056 should be our answer. And that is what question is talking about. That is, again, I would say that is a fairly straightforward question. The only thing I would say was tricky in this question was the calculation part. Calculation was a little lengthier thing. Otherwise, question was fairly easy. Now let's look at this one. An exact clock show 9 a.m. And our hand moves 140 degrees. Now, what is the time shown by the clock? Okay, so if I can see the options, I can mark it very quickly. If I don't have the options, still I can calculate it. And how I'm going to calculate it? In 1 hour, our hand moves 30 minutes, 30 degrees. So in 4 hours, it will move 120 degrees. So I covered 120 degrees. Now still remaining angle is 20 degrees. So for 1 hour, it is 30 degrees. So for 20 degrees, it should be covered in 2 by 3 hours, or I would say 40 minutes. So I am looking for a time that is after 4 hours and 40 minutes. So 9 and 4 hours after is going to be 1 p.m. So time at this time it should be 1:40 p.m. This is what. Okay. Now this question is talking about AT is 20. So basically A is 1, T is 20. Now product is of them is going to be 20. I have always been telling this, that whenever you see these kind of questions, always write the alphabets in their corresponding numbers. So corresponding number for A is 1, T is 20, M is 13, A is 1, N is 14, and that comes out to be 182. So now we are looking for B. B is 2, E is 5, E is 5. So that comes out to be 50. So what is the code word for B? That is going to be 50. Okay. Now we had one question that find the number of triangles in the figure. I don't have the figure right now, so I can't calculate. Find the sum of n positive integers. So n positive integers means 1, 2, 3. That was a pretty straight formula thing. And that is going to be n into n plus 1 divided by 2. Now, equations of lines, this option based on intersecting parallel lines consistent. Okay, so these lines I would say parallel lines because this is this, and if I divided this equation by 2, I am going to get x plus 2y minus 6 equal to 0. Now, if you look at this line and this line, these two lines are parallel, so I would say these are parallel lines. Now, in a lottery, there are 10 prizes and 25 blanks. So there are total 35 shots and you are selecting one. So what is the probability? So there are 10 chances to win and there are total 35 chances. So what is the probability of winning? That is going to be 2 by 7. So what is the probability of winning? That is 2 by 7. Now, A and B together complete a work in 12 days. Okay, A alone can finish in 15 days. So I would say total work, I'm assuming total work is 60. That is LCM of 12 and 15. Now, A and B together can finish 5 units every day. A, because they are finishing the job in 12 days. Now, A alone finishes 4 units every day because in 15 days he completes 60 units of the job. So B alone should finish 1 unit every day and total work is 60 and he is doing 1 unit every day. So what is the total time we are talking for B? That is going to be 60 upon 1. So total time taken by B is going to be 60 days. Now there are other questions on directions, blood relations. So basically, we can solve those questions. Again, if you are going to look at these questions, so these questions are of 30 seconds, 40 seconds. And there are some questions with calculations, a lot of calculations in those questions. You are going to take around 2 minutes, but mostly questions can be finished in less than a minute. There you can save the time so that you can spend some more time in other questions that are lengthy. And with this, let's conclude this session. If you have any doubt, just drop a message in the comment box. Thank you.